Hello, everyone. This year, Pope Francis declared it is the year of Saint Joseph. And it is not without wisdom that the Pope dedicated this year to Saint Joseph, because he's one of the very powerful saints. He's the one that God chose specifically to raise and protect the Holy Family. So there must be something special about him. That's why this year, when Pope Francis declared it the year of Saint Joseph, he also asked us to turn to Saint Joseph for blessing, for protection, and for guidance. Saint Joseph, there are so many titles given to him. He is the protector of the Holy Family. He is the protector of the church. And there is one interesting title that was given to him, the terror of demons. Why did he receive this title? Because remember, Saint Joseph, he's not protecting the Holy Family and protecting Jesus from the harm from this physical world, but he's also protecting the Holy Family from the force of darkness. That is why he received this title. So let us remember this year to look upon Saint Joseph. Not only ask him for protection, but also learn from him. Saint Joseph, I think he is a man that knows the secret of this life. I think out of all people that live on earth, I think he probably the most successful person in this life. Because when you compare Saint Joseph to all the kings that ever existed, no one can equal to Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph, when you look at the gospel, he didn't talk much. The gospel actually record no words from Saint Joseph. He didn't say anything. He lived a very quiet life, yet he achieved most. He is one of the most successful men that ever lived on earth. Why? Because right now he's in heaven, and for those who have come to Saint Joseph and asked him to help and asked him for his intercession, I'm sure they all receive it. I myself received the intercession from Saint Joseph too. So when you compare the life of Saint Joseph to all the great kings on earth, Saint Joseph right now can intercede for us in so many powerful ways, just behind the Virgin Mary. And when you see that fact alone tells us that Saint Joseph, he lived his life in such a way that in the eternal life, he received a very high position. So for me, I think Saint Joseph is the most accomplished man and person on earth beside the Blessed Virgin Mary. So let us now spend time to take a look at Saint Joseph. What kind of qualities he had that God chose him to become the foster parent of Jesus? And what are the qualities that he got that, among all the men, all the holy men, God chose him? I'm sure that I cannot describe all the virtues or all the great qualities that Saint Joseph have, but a few qualities that of Saint Joseph that I'm able to recognize, to spot, that really inspire me, and I want to share it with you. Hopefully we can learn from Saint Joseph, and hopefully we can imitate him, so that we can live a life worthy in front of God, and in the next life we receive the most that we can, like Saint Joseph. What quality does Saint Joseph have that outstanding? I think the first quality that he has is his righteousness. His righteousness stands out in such a way that you know, he never give in to wrongdoing. You know, he always try to make sure that he do it right, and when he tried to do it right, the beautiful things about his righteousness is that he also tried to be merciful, try to help other people out too. He doesn't practice his righteous virtue in a way that that can hurt other people. The example that we can look for this is that when Saint Joseph was introduced to Mary and was about to get married to the Blessed Virgin Mary, then he realized that the Virgin Mary already pregnant. Now, how Saint Joseph gonna deal with this? It is very difficult because there are two choices. First, he either stay quiet and pretend like nothing happened, or the second option, he can expose Mary, said, "This is not my child." So those are the two options. So the first option, if Saint Joseph have to expose Mary and the pregnancy, what gonna happen if Saint Joseph chose this path? If he gonna go with this path, the Virgin Mary will be stoned to death, and that was the sentence back then. So he didn't go with this first choice. He went, if he going to pretend like nothing happened, and he going to get married with the Blessed Virgin Mary, and this didn't go well neither, because this wouldn't be a true marriage, because the child is not his. And for Saint Joseph at that time, maybe the Virgin Mary have this child with somebody, and she may be forced to get married to him. So if he pretend like this marriage is true, it wouldn't be right in front of God. So he couldn't pretend like nothing happened. So those two choices he didn't take. What choice did he? What path did he choose to go with? He chose to live quietly. Now, what does this mean? This means that he gonna walk away, but he didn't expose Mary. So with this choice that he make, it's actually put more bad reputation upon him. Because for the outsider, they may think, wow, Saint Joseph would live with Mary, and now the Mary got pregnant, and Joseph just walked away. So they're gonna put the blame on Joseph, because they might think that, oh, this guy got this girl pregnant and he just walked away, he just irresponsible. So Saint Joseph chose to walk away, and this is the perfect choice for him, because first, it wouldn't harm Mary, it wouldn't expose Mary, and it wouldn't push Mary to the situation where she's gonna be stoned to death. He chose this choice, even though it's put a bad reputation on him, but it's protect Mary. So we see, how Saint Joseph deal with the difficult situation. We know that he's a very virtuous man, and he always make the decision, not only looking at his interests, but he also tried to protect people around him. So this is one of the qualities that I think, is very, very valuable that Saint Joseph have. The second quality that Saint Joseph has is the ability to deal with difficult situations. So no matter how many difficult situations God throw at him, he will handle it. He will find a way to handle it. He never complain. For most of us, when bad things happen to us, the first thing is that we blame God. The second thing that is we blame other people around us, husband, wife, our mother, our parents. and then we blame other people around. But Saint Joseph, no matter how difficult situations are thrown at him, he tried to deal with. He tried to deal with the best thing that he had. So we see that with the case of the Virgin Mary, seeing her pregnant, he tried to deal with in a smooth way, as smooth as possible. And when the angel appeared to Saint Joseph and tell him, "Wake up and take your family and run to Egypt," he responded right away. Remember, going to another country, another country where you don't know anything, there would be a lot of stress. Okay, so how my family gonna get situated? What am I gonna do for a living? How am I gonna provide for my family? But Saint Joseph, in front of that difficulty, he never hesitated. He just went and he dealt with it. And we know that the story that the Virgin Mary being rejected when she was pregnant, she tried to find a place to give birth. There's no place. So what did Saint Joseph do? He didn't complain. He went and searched around to find the most comfortable place for his wife to give birth. And he find, the manger, of the animals. So, and we see all those things. And we see that, the life of Saint Joseph, he didn't have an easy life. God threw at him all kind of difficult situations. But he handled it very well. And he didn't complain. And one of the things that one of the beautiful quality of Saint Joseph is that, God, he didn't complain. He didn't complain and he didn't demand. God chose him to be a foster father for Jesus. But God didn't provide him anything. He had to try to raise Jesus by himself. And at that time, he was doing carpentry. Let's think about this. If God comes to us and asks us a favor, we said, "God, sure, I will do this, whatever you ask, but give me the means to do it. Help me." God asked Saint Joseph to raise Jesus, and God stayed completely silent. Joseph had to figure out how to do it, but he didn't complain. He didn't ask God, "God, you asked me to do this. Why don't you let me win a lottery? Or why don't you, give me a lot of money or give me a lot of things so that I can fulfill my role as a father?" Any normal person would negotiate with God if God gonna ask us to do something. But Saint Joseph, he didn't ask God and he didn't blame God. God stayed completely silent. He just go on his way, try to figure out how to do the job that God asked him the best possible way that he can. And he worked very hard at that. In the old time, doing carpenter job is a very hard job. It didn't get paid much. We know that Saint Joseph and Mary was a very poor family because when they present Jesus to the temple, they were so poor that they was able to offer only a pigeon, as a sacrifice when they present Jesus in the temple. Poor people, they can only offer a pigeon. People with a lot of money, they can offer, better gift. But the fact that Saint Joseph and the Virgin Mary only able to offer the pigeon, it tells us that they're very poor. And another indication that shows us that Saint Joseph very poor was that when the Virgin Mary being rejected, there was no room for her. Actually, if Saint Joseph and Mary had a lot of money at that time, they would find a room, no matter what. There is a saying that I heard. People tell me that what cannot buy with money will be able to buy with a lot of money what you cannot buy with money, you will be able to buy with a lot of money. So even back then, when the hotel or the motel run out of rooms, if Saint Joseph had a lot of money, the owner of the motel will be able to find a room for him. But the fact that he was poor, that's why there's no special service for him. So we see that Saint Joseph was very poor when he do carpentry work. And God didn't, give him a lot of money. God didn't assist him. And he didn't blame God neither. He just know that God asked him to protect Jesus, protect Mary, and to raise a family. And he tried his best to do that without asking God, without blaming God, without demanding from God. So that is another quality that Saint Joseph had, to fix the problem. No matter how many difficult situations were being thrown at him, he tried to find the way to fix it. And he not only fixing problem for himself, he also fixed problem for those who come to him. Even in this time, many of us usually run to the Blessed Virgin Mary and ask her to grant us certain things. And the Virgin Mary can intercede for us very powerful way. But for those who have tried to run to Saint Joseph and ask for his help, I'm sure that they receive his intercession in a very powerful way too. I myself experienced that. One time I remember I got into a very difficult situation. There was no way out. And one of the priests told me that, why don't you pray to Saint Joseph? He may be able to help you. So every day I just keep, praying to Saint Joseph. One day in the very morning, I'm really worried. I didn't know how my situation gonna go. So I woke up very early in the morning because I couldn't sleep. And, I just went through my email. And I saw one email, and I opened it. And in the email that I received, the person that sent the email, wrote in the email, and that person said, "Your situation has been solved. Be at peace." At that time, I feel so relieved. All the stress that I had for months, it came up, and I'm so happy, and out of accident, I look at the day, and I found out that day was the feast day of Saint Joseph. So I've been praying to Saint Joseph. I didn't even know that, his feast day is coming, and my prayer was answered on the very beginning of the day of Saint Joseph feast day. So I owe Saint Joseph, a big favor. And, beside my story, I'm sure that for those who have come to Saint Joseph and asked for help, you receive his help because he's the problem solver, and he will help to solve problem for us. And there was another story of the powerful intercession of Saint Joseph. In New Mexico, San Fate, a sister who had saved enough money to build like a small chapel. Somehow the construction team, they built the second loft, and they didn't build the stair, to walk to the second loft. And when they realized, when everything was done, and they realized that there was no staircase to lead to the second loft, it was too late. So the construction just, walk away. And the sister, they do the 10-day novena to Saint Joseph and ask Saint Joseph to help. On the 10th day of their novena, an old guy show up with some simple tool and ask for a job. And the sister asked that guy, "Can you build a stair up to the second loft?" And this guy said, "Sure." So he worked there for a period of time. And when he finished, building the staircase that leads to the second loft, he disappeared. he just walked away without asking for any money from the sister. And the sister was so shocked. And they came and they examined the staircase. And they found out that that stair was built purely by wood. They don't use any nail or glue or anything that put all the piece of wood together. It's just wood. So that is a very high level of carpentry that this man had. But another interesting fact about this staircase was the wood that this man used to make it. The wood was not from the local area. It actually from a region that's very far away. So this is a very surprise fact. How this man get all this wood from a region far away all the way to New Mexico to build it? They couldn't understand. So after the man disappeared, the sister said, "Wow, it had to be Saint Joseph." He came and helped the sister build the staircase. So this story to tell us that Saint Joseph not only the saint in the past, but he is a very powerful saint in the present, because he continued to intercede to help us to solve problems. For those who come to seek his help, he never hesitates to help us. So the second quality of Saint Joseph is that he is the problem solver. And the third quality, I think, it is the most important one, and the one that makes him stand out from all the holy people. And this quality is very similar to the quality of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And what is that quality? He obeys God. He seeks, he discerns God's will, and he learns God's will. And when he realized that it is God's will, he follows it without hesitation. The Virgin Mary has this quality, and she perfects her obedience to God. And Saint Joseph, he happened to possess this obedience to God to a very perfect sense. We see that, and this is what makes Saint Joseph great. Obey God. Why obeying God will make us great? If we believe in God, we know that God's plan for us is perfect. All we have to do is to follow God and execute what God has given us. That's how we're going to achieve greatness. Because if God is the creator of everything, and God knows everything, what that means is that his plan is perfect. The perfection of God's plan will lead us to the perfection of happiness, of every good thing. So simple. If we follow God's plan, we obey God, we will receive that perfection. It's just simple as that. And Saint Joseph, he realized this. So all his life, all his life he tried to follow God's will. We see that Saint Joseph, he didn't talk a lot. When we look at the gospel, there was no record of him saying anything. Why did Saint Joseph stay quiet all the time? Because I think one of the main reasons was he wanted to spend time to see what God's will is for him. So that when he tried to discern God's will, so that he can follow God's will with no hesitation. So that takes the major part of his life. That takes the major part of his energy. He just used his energy to learn, discern God's will, and to follow it. And we can see the quickness of Saint Joseph in terms of executing God's will. When the angel appeared to Saint Joseph and told him, "Do not walk away. The Virgin Mary was pregnant, was the plan of God. And it was God's plan. Stay here, help her, and raise Jesus." Saint Joseph, he stayed right away. No question asked. And when the angel appeared to Saint Joseph and wake him up and tell him to go to run to Egypt to escape the slaughter, Saint Joseph, without question, he woke up, pack everything, and do it right away. So in those two examples, we see that Saint Joseph was very quick to execute God's will the moment he learned from it. We too, if we want to be great, we have to learn from Saint Joseph of his obedience to God. Many people probably ask, what is God's will for me? For Saint Joseph, the angel appeared to him in this way, and he knows God's will. But how about me? God never appeared to me, or the angel never appeared to me. What is God's will for each one of us? The 10 Commandments. That is the foundation of our Christian life. That is the foundation of our love and our worship for God. Try your best to observe the 10 Commandments. Love God, worship God, do not do anything wrong, do not cause any harm to other people, do not take anything that is not us. So the 10 Commandments are basically right now the general will of God for each one of us. If we just try our best, our life to follow it, we are following God's will. But how later on, how our life gonna turn here and then, it will be up to us. It will be up to God. But for now, I think when we try to observe the 10 Commandments, try to follow it, we are following God's will. So this year is a year dedicated to Saint Joseph. And I'm sure that when we call upon his protection, he will come to protect not only the church, but only protect each one of us and protect our family too. And he will put us under his wing. But remember, in this year, we not only come to Saint Joseph to ask him for protection, we need also to learn from him, learn from his quality, what makes him great, and whatever makeup of him that God chose him. Those things are very valuable. So when we try to imitate Saint Joseph, I think that is what gonna make him happy, more happy than we just come to him and ask him to help us. So remember, Saint Joseph never hesitated to help us. That's his nature. He loves us. He will find a way to help us, to carry us over difficult situations. But let us also imitate from Saint Joseph. Learn to help other people, help to fix their problem in the way that honor God, in the way that most pleasing to God. And let us also remember to learn from Saint Joseph what makes him stand out. That is the obedience to God. I'm sure that if we live in God's will, we will achieve the most of all, the most happiness, the most of everything. Because God's plan is perfect. God's plan has no error. If we trust in God's plan, when we try to follow it the best that we can, I'm sure that we find the best in this life, in the next life to come. All right, so a little sharing from how my humble meditation about Saint Joseph. So hopefully, the year of Saint Joseph, you will find a lot of blessing and a lot of protection from him. And please do not forget to pray for the church, to pray for priests, religious people, and as we also remember to pray for you. Let us pray for each other that we live in such a way that honor God, and we live in such a way that we uplift other people around us. Thank you.